Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Valagar Aloevain. So we're back here in Necropolis for the fourth of our Necro 2 quests, which is Tomb of the Shadow Guard. So this one here involves a lot of swimming. So I definitely recommend, if you don't have, to pick up some water breathing or something like that. It will definitely help you get through this quest. If you are playing solo or even with a group, if you're the only member that does not have water breathing, don't worry, they do actually have some in-quest ways to do it, but it only works for one person. Alright, so as soon as we walk in, obviously we want to talk to our guard. Now, this place in itself is a giant broken down, like, mess. And essentially has you going in a giant circle. And what I mean by that is, right on the other side of this bars, that is the end boss right there. And I wonder, can I get them here? I can. So yeah, there's our end fight right there. Now this quest is great if you have somebody who knows what they're doing and others who tend to get lost. The people who get lost can actually pike, obviously if it is okay with the group, because at the end of the quest, this gate right here will open up. So even if you pike, you can still actually get your end loot. And I know generally when I run this with friends and such, I tend to be the one running the quest. And a lot of them tend to pike, not because they can't do it, but it gives them time to do whatever else they want to do. Alright, so let's get started. So once we get in here, we want to hop down all the way into the water. Let's go for a swim down. And obviously, we want to head south and down underneath these mushrooms. Now, as you see, I do have a breath meter. I do also have an item here, which I will put on momentarily, which does give me water breathing. But what I wanted to point out is these Sog Shadow Moss patches. So they look like a collectible here, but what it is, once you use them, it actually gives you a minute and a half long water breathing effect. So I'm just going to toss this on because it will also give me a little bit faster swim speed. So the downside with those Sog Shadow Moss patches though is it can only be picked up by one person. So if one member of your party picks it up, nobody else can grab it. Alright, so once you're swimming to the end of the hall here, there's a hole heading up, and then we want to head north, and then further up again. From here, just climb out of the water. I'm just going to put the other item back on. And we're going to come into this little small safety spot. Now basically that's what this quest is a swim followed by a small respite on land and then back in the water for more swimming. Now way back when with these gates here, you used to be able to interact. So like if we came to the chest here, you used to be able to reach and open the chest, as well as the shrines here. Kind of the same thing. You can no longer do that, so it's you got to be on that side. And I think the reason they did that is just to avoid people kind of cheating the system there. Alright, so back in the water. This time we want to swim almost all the way to the bottom. And basically one level up, we have a path through. So if you swim all the way down, oh, apparently, swim all the way down, it don't matter. So yeah, go ahead and swim all the way down to the bottom. And then we just want to head back to the west. There's a hole here, we want to head down. and then north. And here's another Sog Shadow Moss Patch if you need. I'm just going to again toss on my water breathing / swim item. So yeah, things that'll help if you don't have water breathing is to have a high swim skill. The more points you have into swim, the faster that your character actually swims, as well as it increases the length to which you hold your breath. Alright, so once we hit the end, we want to swim up to the top, and then continue heading north, around the corner, and then again up, out of the water, and all the way up. At this point here, we have run into our first orange name. Throughout the quest, you do run into a few of them, which you do need to kill in order to continue, like that door that's slightly on fire. It won't open up until he's killed, so kind of, well, it's quest progression. You kill him, the door opens, you can move on. So you do have to run and kill them all. So next one is our Tiernan Wentarg.
Whatever happened to this tomb?
And yeah, so through the door, up the hall, and guess what? Back into the water. So here we want to swim down to the bottom again. Head north. So this one here, we don't actually want to go down this hole here. I mean, you can. It does have a collectible, but that's it. There's nothing else here. Other than that, you just want to swim forward. There's our Sog Shadow. And keep heading east until you got, turns. For the most part, this quest is very linear. The map isn't the biggest help, as like here it looks like it'll turn off, and other parts you might be swimming where there is nothing. So the map is fairly difficult to maneuver, but as long as you keep swimming straight, and the way I look at it is, if my map is starting to uncover, it means I'm going the right way. Alright, so once you get to a point where you can swim up, do so. And now we want to head up and climb up the mushrooms and the pits again. I know, so many times. So yes, there was a chest. Now that is just a random loot chest, though that one does always spawn in that location. So by all means, stop and grab it. I know I normally do. I had some aggro on me and, well, wanted to take care of that first. Alright, any more breakables along this wall? Alright. So we want to further head south, and then the path we need to is actually just hop down here in the water. However, if we proceed just past it, we will run into a couple of enemies. Or at least there's supposed to be a few. Alright. As well, we should get some once we start heading down. Maybe that's the next one. Alright. So this one is actually where we can get a split. So we can either choose to head north, which will lead to the end of the quest, or we can head south to the optional. Now I am going to head and do the optional here and show you guys that path. As well, it will show you a full quest run, getting all the breakables and so on and so forth. So the easiest way to tell when it splits is when you hop down to the center, how it's got the giant seal, kind of, and it blocks the water in the middle. That's the best way to tell. Alright, so for the south path, You want to head in and swim down. Once you're at the bottom, you can turn around and head north again. And down some more. And east. So yeah, kind of right there, that first little bit, it does get a little confusing. Now, this tunnel for the optional here is probably the longest swim section in this quest. So just bear with us as we are going through. I did look for the best swimming gear that I had, and unfortunately, like the spells like Merfolk's Blessing, they only last a very short amount of time. Not when it's not cast by a proper caster. Right here. Alright, so for here, as you see, we just headed north around and then down through the hole. And yeah, it's really, really long. This is why most people tend not to come this path. Generally speaking, the only time I ever come down this path is when I'm running this with a friend or with somebody else, as one of us can head down this path, get the optional, while the other one is completing the quest. Now, at this point here, so there's head to the end, swim up through the hole, and we're almost there. The bad part is, unfortunately, I gotta swim back. Alright, so this is so long they even gave us 2 Sog Shadow patches. Alright, so there's a lot of up, so as you can kind of imagine, we're getting towards that end. And here we are. So yeah, totally super long. Honestly, the experience you get for the Slayer and even or for the optional, even the extras for the breakables, not really worth it in my opinion. And the boss here is an invisible stalker, which I gotta put this on to see him. So there you have it. A lot of swimming for a few kills, a few breakables, and 1,000 experience. The chest that you get here, at least I believe, yeah, the chest that you get, that's the one that we were looking at earlier through the gate. And like as you can see, nothing even special out of that chest. Like it truly is not worth the effort to come and do this optional. However, again, I did want to show you guys that. Right, I want to turn off that audio. I was running with some friends earlier, and we were chatting in game. Alright. But this will show us what the full amount of experience can be obtained from this quest. So, one thing to point out is the quest itself, like if you have somebody who is capable going down this path, the amount of time it takes you to go through the swim, go through, kill everything, and get that optional is pretty much the same amount of time it would have taken you to, at that split, to just head north and complete the quest. So, like, that's why most people tend to skip it. Is I could have completed the quest and gotten, you know, let's say 18,000 experience. 18, 19,000 opposed to 1,000, and extending the quest by an extra, 5-10 minutes. I think it's only about 5, but oh, too far that way. It's down, I believe. No, yeah, down. Using my hireling as a guide. Kind of. Ultimately, once we're done this one though, we can, you know, hit up that Shadow Crypt quest and really enjoy some good XP farming out of that one. And I'll show you again how to do that one. It's great with a party, as again you can, well, just like Bloody Crypt there, with a party you can go real quick and then you can farm it multiple times. Alright, so we're back here at our giant seal, so we went south for the optional. Now we're going to head north and show you guys the end of the quest. So this section here, it's actually got a really nice cave system with these mushrooms. And we can actually hop up here. This part we don't have to do. We're actually supposed to continue swimming. However, if you choose to come up here, this is where our shrines are hiding. Now, again, as you see, it does have a few more enemies. Which, I mean, nothing bad about getting a few more kills in this quest. As well, we just got our ransack, which is awesome. And here's our shrine. So yeah, you used to be able to, while you were on the other side of that gate, be able to interact with these shrines. But again, they've removed that ability. So again, where this is here, as you're swimming from that seal, so you head north, basically you keep swimming until you see this nice bit of mushrooms at the top, and of course your path upwards. If you have to dive under the water, you've gone too far. So this path here is a straight on the top of the water swim, other than this first little bit might push you underwater. But so right from the seal, as long as you don't go underwater, or even if you do swim underwater, it doesn't matter. But as long as the quest doesn't force you underwater, like this section here, to continue we have to dive and go under there. Alright. So here we are. So swam around, swam up. And here we go. Now some of these, like this one here, as you can see, we do run into a trap. Now when you run in, the trap box himself are generally on this raised platform here. As well, there's usually spawns as well. Does seem we didn't get them. However, this one here, as we approach the hole, which is just to our north, it is going to spawn in some guys here. Alright, so back into the water. Now this one here, just head east. So yeah, this is probably, to this point in the game, well, it definitely, like, as the time of this video release, it is by far the most swimming you'll do in a quest, including one of the longest underwater swims you'll run into. And then out of the Necropolis quest, this is probably one of the lower amounts of XP from Necro 2 that you get. Which, I mean, the quest itself is fairly easy. There's not a lot of things you gotta kill. They're in small numbers with large spaces in between. The problem is those large spaces are swims, so it takes a lot of time. So I definitely understand why it's not a large amount of experience, tending towards the smaller side. However, for the hassle, it should be more experience. And if not for the fact of needing this quest in order to go into Shadow Crypt, which is a phenomenal amount of experience and can be done super, super fast, that people probably wouldn't even run it. Alright, so here, I gotta get rid of this dude. Again, right back into the water. And then we want to swim south. And then it's a spiral down. But like, as you can see with the map, like as I'm opening up, like there's so many other paths that it says you can go down that are just not there. That's what makes this quest, like the map for this one, so difficult. Because yes, eventually they all do get opened up, but in the meantime, it's really rough. Alright, so once we get to this cross section here, we want to swim up and then continue on south. Alright, so here we are. Once we get to the dead end wall, it's just up and out. And there's our second orange name. So we just got one more orange name left to go. Alright, just keep going through. Up and down. Back into the water. So we want to head north, around the corner. Grab our collectible. And head up. So yeah, it's long, boring, and not a lot of experience, but in the end, worth it. So this one here, as you can see, this is where most people would stop to try and use those shrines. It's right here, but from this side, they are on the other side of the wall. So nothing we can do. I was gonna hop over there and show you guys, but it just says this item is blocked. Nothing fancy. Where you do need to go is back into the water. So we're gonna swim down, and we want to head west. Alright, so from here, I always swim down there. I don't know why. We want to actually head up. Oh, I hate this part. Because you're right next to the ceiling, so when you jump, it wants to throw you off. So the trick is, don't jump. Alright. Up and around, so we see our third random loot chest. Couple guys decided to come through the wall. Alright, so we see our third random loot chest. Right next to this guy is going to be our third orange name, Curvan Neret, which is going to come at us right here as we approach. from here, just head out the door to the south, and we're actually almost done at this point. So just a little bit of round section to get to our next hole to jump down. And then head south. So as you can see, we got 70 kills. Not a whole lot considering the length of this quest. Alright, so this one here, as you see, you want to swim up the hole, down over to the west, and it's got a giant hill to climb up here. Now, once you climb up this hill and make a left-hand turn, there's our end. So we're right here. I'm going to see if I can grab... Oh, we're already at ransack, so not worried. So for this end fight, as soon as we get in there, it will have a spawn of enemies. Some spiders, some other random trash, as well as the mummy. So they're all going to get up and fight all at once. Now, as you see, we are only at onslaught, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to fight just the trash enemies. Sorry. And not worry about the named mummy just yet. And I'm going to see if we can't get us conquest. So, yeah, if you're looking to get that conquest or even onslaught, we did get a fair amount of reapers, is to kill the trash before you actually fight the mummy. I'm also going to put this item back on. Alright, so we got 2 more guys yet to kill. Spider and a ghost. So yeah, as you can see, super easy to kite. It's more an annoyance than anything. So we got as many kills as we can. All that's left is the mummy. And luckily for us, it did it. That mummy was our final kill. So what you can see here with our experience, we got a total of 22,000. And it took us 27 minutes. So cut off a few minutes there for the explanation. But because of the amount of swimming in this quest, it definitely feels a lot longer than it needs to. Alright, so yeah, we finished this quest here. What I'll do is before we actually run the Shadow Crypt, or actually right after we run Shadow Crypt, I will go through and do that. So in the next video, I'll show you what the scarabs for this one here are used for. Alright, well again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.